Hi, Jason Knott, editor of CE Pro, and today we are talking about two of the hottest category areas for integrators like wildfire, and that is outdoor technology and lighting. And talking to me about that today is founder of Lighting Boss, Ryan Jaso. Hi, Ryan.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
Hey, thanks for joining me today. So as I said, lighting and outdoor technology has kind of become the chocolate and peanut butter of the market right now. They are just working together so well, and integrators are really on fire with both of these categories. But tell us a little bit about Lighting Boss and the origins of the distribution company.
Well, it's interesting because I actually started in low voltage cabling. That was all we sold. So we sold into the AV market, we sold into the security market, but where I really found a passion was selling into the landscape lighting market. There's just something that's magical about landscape lighting, and I fell in love with it. Eventually got out of selling just the cabling and got into all the other lighting products, transformers, LEDs, fixtures, and have been there ever since, and just so happy that I made this change, because it's a phenomenal industry to be in, especially right now when everybody's upgrading their homes and their exteriors.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, especially with COVID. I think so many more people realized that they needed to be outdoors and obviously bring that environment outdoors. When you go on your website, it's quite dynamic. It's very clear what your product base is, but tell us a little bit about some of the product lines that you carry.
Well, what we shoot for is having something for every contractor out there, whether it is the budget conscious one or it's the high-end one who just wants nothing but the best. So some of our main lines are Brilliance LED, Lumion, and Elegant Lighting. Between those three, we cover just about the whole spectrum, but we have everything in between too. And that's what we want to be, is we want to be a one-stop shop and one-stop resource for these guys, so that they don't have to look around for different pieces. They can come to us and we'll find the perfect solution for them, whatever that solution may be.
All right, so other than that one-stop resource, what are some of the other areas that make Lighting Boss different from other lighting distributors in the space?
Well, that's a good question. Obviously, the variety of product is one, as you just mentioned. We also, for our sales staff, for our support staff, we only hire former contractors. So there is a ton of experience at our fingertips, and that's obviously huge for people coming in from slightly outside the market. They've got to be trained how to do this properly, because there are right ways to do it and there are wrong ways to do it. So it's extremely important that we have the right support staff in place in order to do the proper training. I'd also say that we are truly on the cutting edge of technology, whether that be our e-commerce platform, our CRM system, the communication systems that we have in place, and also a new software that we've built, a new sales and rendering program that we've built. Nobody has anything like that. We're truly the only ones who have that. So we truly try to stay ahead of the technology curve in order to make doing business with us and selling projects as simple as possible.
That's very helpful for integrators. And you mentioned integrators, they're somewhat new to the landscape lighting space. For many years, obviously on big projects, they're going to work with landscape architects and those sorts of designers. But how can Lighting Boss help integrators with landscape design?
Well, again, as we mentioned before, the experience that's on the staff is number one. That's where it starts. It's the training that we have in place, the experience that we have in place to train these guys, to train the integrators. And then two, that sales and rendering app that we've developed is a huge tool for them, and should really make this process go absolutely seamlessly for them once they get the nuts and bolts down of how do I design and how do I install. So those are two fantastic ways that our team is set up in order to help these integrators.
So what are some of the ways that an integrator can talk to his clients about the need for landscape lighting and how it's going to beautify their area, their home?
That's a good question, Jason. The beauty of landscape lighting is that it's luxury, just like audio is. So you're talking to the same client, right? And it's a client that the AV integrator already has in their hands. And what we want the AV integrator is to get the biggest ticket possible. And you want to maximize your time and your profits while you're on the job site. So convincing the homeowner, once you already have that trust, to take whatever we've been doing indoors for them and bring it outdoors should just be a seamless process. They already trust you. They've trusted you with what they've done indoors. Let's just bring it outdoors and let's add that same beauty to the outdoors that we have to the indoors. And outdoor lighting, as you mentioned, it's so key for not only aesthetics, but functionality and security. It should be a no-brainer for anybody who has expendable income. And if you're talking to an AV integrator, you've got expendable income.
So it's funny you mentioned that extension of the indoor technology to the outdoor. We actually have done some research in CE Pro that showed a lot of the outdoor projects are not standalone outdoor projects. They are extensions of that indoor, whether it's an added zone in some way from an audio and video standpoint to the lighting and adding scene lighting and those sorts of things. So it's a perfect kind of natural segue for them to move. You mentioned the assistants. Let me follow up on one question on that. What about if an integrator is looking at architectural drawings or blueprints? Is that something where Lighting Boss can help them look at that and kind of help determine the design that might be the need there?
Absolutely. And drawings, blueprints, photographs, whatever information that we can get just helps us help the integrator. Not only that, we've got traveling sales staff and traveling trainers. So we can be on site too. Depending on where these guys are located in the country, we can be on site and not only talking to the integrator, we can help to talk to the client in many instances.
Fantastic. So what do you see as the biggest opportunities in the area right now for integrators?
Money. That's what it boils down to, right? You're leaving money on the table by not having the conversation because it's the same client. They want the same things outdoors that they wanted indoors. It all boils down to maximizing profits. You're already there on site. You're just leaving money on the table by not having the conversation.
One of the other areas that I'd be curious your thoughts on this that I've heard from integrators is that they're finding a lot of potential with service agreements with their outdoor systems. And it's because you put an outdoor system in and let's just say you're showing off a plant with some sort of an accent lighting on a plant. That plant or tree is going to grow or change. So the lighting might need to be adjusted. The lighting can get damaged by landscapers on a consistent basis sometimes. So they're finding that there's not just that installation revenue that can come with this category, but also some service revenue.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That it's recurring revenue. And with every lighting system needs to be maintained, every outdoor lighting system, because you said plants grow, rain falls. As soon as that stuff stops happening, we won't have to maintain lighting, but we'll have much, much bigger problems. So the recurring revenue that you don't really get on the indoors does exist for the outdoors. So it just all boils down to money and then keeping your crews busy during downtimes, because now they can be servicing the outdoor systems.
All right, Ryan Jaso from Lighting Boss, thanks for joining CE Pro today and enlightening us about the outdoor landscape lighting market.
Thanks again, Jason. That was great.